What's going on, ladies and Pokegents? It's your boy Attic, and today we're going to be talking about what could possibly be the next Evolving Sky set. Just the other day, I ran a poll on X to see what the community thought, and I included some obvious choices like Destined Rivals and Prismatic Evolutions, the cream of the crop, the best sets in my opinion. And then I included something like Black Bolt and White Flare just to keep the community on their toes, which underperformed severely. For how expensive these sets are, I am very surprised to see this low of an interest in these sets, but we'll talk about that later. And of course, I included Ascended Heroes, the most recent set and the most elusive set we've ever had on release. But before we dive too deep into this, let me know what team you're on. Are you Team Destined Rivals, Prismatic Evolutions, or something else entirely? Leave a comment down below so we can get a bigger sample size to see what the people think is going to be the next big thing. All right, and now that that's out of the way, let's take a look at the results. It looks like Prismatic Evolutions won, not by a landslide. Destined Rivals is tailing it right behind, and I'm very surprised to see Ascended Heroes at a 28% of the vote. It's such a brand new set, extremely elusive. You cannot get your hands on this except at market. You have to pay $40 for 3 packs. It is crazy how much we have to pay just to get our hands on a brand new set. This is unprecedented. This has never happened before, and it doesn't help that there is a delay in shipment and the Pokemon Company cut the release product in half. We only got the triple pack sticker collections when we were supposed to get the 2-pack trainers as well, but that didn't happen. I don't know if there's issues in their printing facilities or what's going on with Pokemon right now. They even had to postpone for when the players get to use these cards in their decks because the supply is so scarce. Now, what does that say about the set? It's going to be hot for a while. People can't get their hands on this set. We won't see ETBs until later this month. Booster bundles sometime in March. It is absolutely crazy to see what the market is doing right now. Now, is Ascended Heroes something that could pop off like Evolving Skies in a couple of years? Absolutely. I can see that there's so many great chases in that set. I mean, we got the Mega Charizard MAR, we got the SIR Dragon Knight, the Clefairy, the Pikachu doesn't show it on here. We got the Mewtwo. There are so many great chase cards in this set. Right now, it's valued at almost $8,000, but that's only because no one can find this set on the shelves. Everything's at market price. People are paying 10, 15, in some cases up to $20 a pack, and that is absolutely unsustainable. Until we get more product on the shelves, there's no guarantee what this set is going to do. All right, so let's go ahead and back it up to our poll here. It looks like Prismatic Evolutions won, and for good reason. I personally believe it is between Prismatic Evolutions and Destined Rivals, but I think Prismatic will outperform every Scarlet and Violet set within the next 5 years. It is already doing so well. We have only seen the ETBs go below $100 one time, and it barely lasted a week. We can't say that about any other set. Once the Destined Rivals booster box reprints were so-called confirmed, we saw the market crash so hard on that set. And now all of a sudden, it's a $600 booster box again, like nothing ever happened. All right, so let's just take a look at these set prices. We got Destined Rivals sitting at a $1,600 set. I mean, look at that. The Mewtwo carrying at $380. So many beautiful cards in this set. The nostalgia hits so hard because of all the Team Rocket Pokemon. People love these cards. They're going to try to complete the set. But when the booster box is $600, it just makes sense to buy these cards as singles, and that's what I'm doing. I'm about 14 cards away from finishing the master set, and I cannot wait to be able to show these cards off. Next up, we got Prismatic Evolution, a set that is barely under $4,000 a year after its release. Yeah, sure, the Umbreon is carrying, at $840. That is absolutely insane just for one piece of shiny cardboard. But look at all these SIR evolutions. People are going to want these cards forever. They absolutely love this set because it reminds them of Evolving Skies. We had the evolutions in that set. The Umbreon in that set is carrying the whole thing, And I mean, this is just the most relative thing to Evolving Skies, in my opinion. I really think this is going to outperform every set of Scarlet and Violet for the end of time. Next 5 years, this might be valued at over 8,000, maybe even 5 figures, $10,000. Who knows? It's hard to say, but I strongly believe in Prismatic Evolutions. Next up, we got Black Bolt and White Flare. These sets are so underrated in my opinion. To complete both of them, you need to spend over $5,000. And that is astronomical just to complete 2 sets, and it's crazy that they have to split them up. $2,600 for Black Bolt, 24 for White Flare. These cards are amazing, but why does the community think this set cannot perform as well as Destined Rivals or Prismatic Evolutions? Well, it's simple. Generation 5 is very hit or miss for people. Everybody knows the evolutions. There's these, everybody knows Mewtwo and Ho-Oh and Nidoking, especially. Like, people, Psyduck, people know these because a lot of these Pokemon are from Generation 1. Not many people know Generation 5 that well. Maybe a lot of people didn't even get into Pokemon then. Evolutions, same thing. We got 4 or Eevee, and then the 3 OG evolutions are from Gen 1. Then we got a couple from Gen 2, and I believe Glaceon and Leafeon are Gen 4. I mean, Sylveon didn't come around until much later, but that's beside the point. All right, and then Ascended Heroes. There are many great cards in this set. We do have a lot of Generation 1 bias. We got Charizard, we got Dragonite, we got Clefairy. I believe, let's see, we do have another Mewtwo. We got 2 Pikachu SIR, or a Pikachu SIR in this set. Absolutely incredible. I wish Pokédata would show off some of these Pokemon. We got Gengar, another Psyduck. Like, there is so much hype in this set. We even got Team Rocket Pokemon in here. I believe this set will perform very, very well. But the only reason the price is so high right now is because the packs are so scarce. All right, so let's take a look here. We got Evolving Skies 2.0. Destined Rivals and Prismatic Evolutions, they are not on the same level, in my opinion. Both are amazing sets, and I think both are going to do very well, but Prismatic Evolution is going to take the crown, in my opinion, as the next Evolving Skies. If you look at it, we got Team Rocket's Mewtwo at $374, 1 in 1,033 pack chance, and the ETB's $162, while the Umbreon is $840 with a 1 in 1,400 pack chance of pulling that specific SIR when the ETBs are only $130. It makes sense to pick up the Prismatic Evolution ETBs because, in my opinion, they're extremely undervalued right now. Prismatic is the first set in English that we got God packs. Do you know what that means? That means people are going to be hunting that God pack for the end of days. They're going to go mad to try and pull that God pack because it's so cool. I mean, just imagine pulling every single Evolution SIR out of one pack, compared to Destined Rivals. I mean, you might have, I think they have demigod packs where you get to pull 3 SIRs. Ascended Heroes has God packs, but they're all random Pokemon. It's not as, the feeling just isn't as cool as, like, pulling every single evolution when the pack is worth over $2,000. Absolutely incredible. So, like I said, Ascended Heroes is going to do well. As far as we know, it could possibly be the best Mega Evolution set that we have printed. But for Scarlet and Violet, Prismatic Evolution #1, Destined Rivals #2, without a doubt, I think these sets are going to do so well, and Prismatic will take the crown, just like their Terra crowns on the evolutions. All right, if you like this kind of content, drop a like, let me know what you think, and I will smell you all later, trainers.